When we think about building or kitting out an AR or large frame gas gun, the parts many commonly focus on and consider critically important typically end up being things like the barrel, the trigger, the optic, perhaps the handguard, maybe the stock or the weapon light. But one of the pieces which rarely makes the top 5 of importance, yet is absolutely critical, is the optic mount. The number of times we've been out and seen someone with even a nice quality optic attach said optic to their rifle with a device or mount effectively meant for a pellet or airsoft gun is, well, unfortunately too frequent. The mount is quite literally the primary mechanism maintaining the optics relation to the rifle. This is not an area to go bargain bin hunting. With that said, there are a number of mounts and rings out there across a range of price levels which can and do work well. Some prioritize weight or lack thereof, others focus on QD capabilities, some on minimalist footprint, and others are billed as being bomb-proof. Today we're going to take a quick look at one of these mounts, one which we've been running quite a bit here at the 9-hole show and have a good deal of experience with. It's not the lightest, it tends to be out of stock whenever we need to get a new one, and certainly isn't the cheapest. When it comes to something which has nearly endless modularity though, and can be had in nearly any configuration of ring size and mount height, and is certainly on the rugged and bomb-proof side of things, the Badger Ordnance Condition 1 stands out amongst its peers. The Badger C1 is a non-QD 7075 T6 aluminum tube optic mount, ideal for small and large frame AR applications. What makes these mounts unique is how they act as a hub for mounting a variety of accessories to the rifle, not just the optic. And while you may choose to use the base mount only, the real value in this setup comes from a standardized, ultra clean and concise means to add additional devices, such as an offset or inline red dot, a bubble level, angle cosine indicator, diving board mount for a laser range-finding device, a data card holder, or something else you feel you need to bolt onto the rifle. As you might be able to tell straight away from that list of accessory options, these mounts are certainly biased towards being built out for more precision application. And although they're also perfectly serviceable for more general purpose uses as well, we'd argue that's not where they shine brightest. The Badger C1 is available in 30, 34, and 35mm rings, so unless you're running a super schwanky specialty optic with a 36mm tube, you're going to be able to find something that's going to work for your setup here. The mounts have 3 different height options as well: 154 or NV height, 17 or lower 1/3, and 193 or assaulter height. In addition, each of these configurations can also be had with or without 20 MOA built into the base of the mount. If you're unfamiliar with this, a 20 MOA mount basically drops the front of the optic down, meaning the rounds will be impacting higher than normal, and the optic will need to be dialed down further than normal to achieve a 0 by 20 MOA. That means that when dialing up in the optic to shoot at distance, the user will have an extra 20 MOA or about 5.9 mils of come up before the turret maxes out, potentially extending the range of the rifle depending on the caliber. Given that many precision rifles have the option of MOA being built into their top rails, and most gas guns do not, the 20 MOA option is a great inclusion in the lineup and part of why we're running these mounts on many of our precision ARs and AR-10s. In terms of fit and finish and construction, these mounts leave little to be desired. They're some of the nicest on the market, and despite not being the lightest out there at 6.5 ounces, they still come in leaner than a number of the other popular mounts such as LaRue, ADM, and Spur. I was a QD fan for a long time, so losing my beloved levers and wheels was a bit hard to stomach at first, but given that the torque spec is quite literally stamped on the mount, making repeatable mounting quite easy, the only real bit you're losing is the ability to remove the optic urgently if it were to die. If you deem that this function is indeed critical to your application, you should probably look at other mount solutions. In terms of ability to hold 0, we've shot these on everything from 5.56 up through 300 Win Mag without any issues whatsoever. We've also, frankly, had guns take dives from time to time with no shifts in 0. Now, obviously that's testament not just of the mount's capability, but of the durability of the optics as well. Again, the vast majority of our shooting with these has been precision-based though, and with that said, let's circle back to the accessories. The mount comes affixed with 4 different accessory mounting positions at the base and the ability to have the top ring replaced with a further accessory ring cap. The number one accessory we've been running is the ACD, the anti-cant device. That's the high-speed name for a bubble level. Frankly, with any rifle we know we're going to be shooting at distance with any sort of frequency, we're running a level. It's too easy to include, especially when the footprint is so minimal. On the Badger, it's tucked nicely in between the two mounting bolts, semi-shielding it from taking a whack inadvertently. And it's perfectly positioned for a quick glance right before taking a shot. We've tried the lot of red dot mounts at the various heights as well. I will say that when mounting at the 12 o'clock on the Badger arc cap, the dot does sit quite high. This is great for clearing big fat elevation turrets, but in some cases it felt just a bit too tall. We opted to try the Parker Mountain Machine Cowgirl mount for the RMR setup, specifically designed for use with the Badger mount, and it seemed to place the dot a bit closer to where we'd like it. Overall, the mount and interface provides endless scaling and modularity, but at a steep cost. A kitted mount with level and diving board runs more than some people's entire rifles. This is a professional grade piece of gear, overkill for many users. But if you're after this type of multifaceted function, we'd highly recommend checking out the C1, as it's something we've had great success with. We appreciate you tuning into this episode of Midway USA, and until next time, we'll see you on the range.
716, this is Jill 96, 4 Vic, 8 pass, Redcon 1, green to green. How copy, over?
Jill 96, this is 716, roger, over. 1 6, Jill 91, 1